All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about salt, but maybe not in the way you'd expect.
Oh, definitely not your typical cooking segment.
We're going a little deeper today looking at this article. Put salt in these 7 spots at home and see what happens. Buddhist teachings.
Catchy title, right?
For sure. And it's got me curious how this everyday ingredient can be used for attracting positive energy and fostering peace in our homes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might be surprised to learn that salt has such a long history in spiritual practices, especially in Buddhism.
So beyond just seasoning food, it's like salt has this whole other dimension.
Absolutely. It's been used for purification and protection for centuries across so many different cultures.
I'm already intrigued. So the article starts with something pretty simple, placing salt at your front door.
Mm.
Is this like some kind of mystical force field against bad vibes?
You could think of it that way, but it's more about the intention and symbolism behind it.
Okay, so it's not just like sprinkling salt and poof, negativity is gone.
Not quite.
More like a conscious choice.
Exactly. Your front door is that threshold between the outside world and your personal sanctuary.
Makes sense, like a boundary.
Yeah, and placing salt there is like a way of consciously deciding what energy you're inviting in.
So it's like we're being mindful about what we're bringing into our space.
Precisely.
I like that. And the article ties this to the Buddhist principle of mindfulness, which is all about being present and aware. Instead of just barging through the door, we're taking a moment to consider what we're carrying with us.
It's a powerful shift in perspective. And it's interesting to see how this concept of using salt to ward off negativity appears in other cultures too.
Oh, like where?
Well, in Hinduism, for instance, people toss salt over their left shoulder to get rid of bad luck.
Wow, I never knew that.
It's like this universal human impulse to use salt as a way to cleanse and protect.
Fascinating. Okay, so front door check. What about our workspaces?
Ah, yes, our workspaces, those hubs of stress and productivity.
Tell me about it. Mine can feel pretty chaotic at times.
We pour so much mental and emotional energy into our work, which can definitely leave some lingering negativity.
So how does salt actually help with that?
Well, some believe that the crystalline structure of salt can neutralize negative ions,
Interesting.
which might explain its ability to shift the energy in a space.
Okay, so maybe there's some science behind it too.
Possibly. The article suggests keeping a bowl of salt on your desk to kind of act as an energetic reset button.
I like that. Like a mini spa day for my desk.
It can create a more focused and positive atmosphere.
Maybe I should try that instead of reaching for another cup of coffee when I'm feeling drained.
It might be worth a shot.
Yeah.
And this ties back to the Buddhist principle of right effort.
Right effort.
Yeah, it's about making conscious choices that lead to greater peace and clarity.
I could definitely use more of that in my workday.
So placing the salt becomes like a physical reminder to align yourself with those intentions.
That's a really cool way to look at it. Instead of just being a decoration, it's a symbol of our commitment to staying focused and present.
Exactly. And you can bring this practice into any area of your home.
Oh, so we're not just stopping at the front door and the workspace?
Nope. Let's talk about the heart of the home, the kitchen.
Now, that's a place where I could definitely use some help with positive energy. Things tend to get a little messy in there, both literally and figuratively.
I hear you. The kitchen is where we nourish ourselves on so many levels.
It's true. There's a lot of energy that goes into cooking and preparing meals.
And the article suggests placing salt near the stove or on a counter to absorb any negativity.
Okay, so like a culinary shield against bad vibes.
You could say that. It also helps to foster gratitude for the abundance that we have.
It's like infusing the food we make with good energy.
Exactly. And this connects to the Buddhist practice of mindful eating, being present and appreciating each bite.
So how can I bring more of that mindfulness into my own kitchen?
Well, you don't need to go overboard. Just
Right.
a small, discrete bowl of salt will do.
Got it. Less is more.
It's all about the intention behind it. I was surprised to see that the article also mentioned using salt in the bathroom.
The bathroom.
Yeah, I always thought of it as a purely functional space.
Me too.
But think about it. It's where we cleanse ourselves, both physically and energetically.
That's true. I never thought of it that way.
We're releasing a lot more than just water down the drain.
So the bathroom is like a portal for energy too.
In a way, the article suggests that placing salt in the bathroom can help absorb any residual negativity from those cleansing routines.
So it's like giving the whole room a spa treatment.
It can make the space feel lighter and fresher.
I love that. But practically speaking, where would you even put salt in the bathroom?
You could place a small bowl on the counter near the bathtub or even on a shelf.
Okay, so we're talking subtle, not like a giant salt lick in the corner.
Right. It's about creating a sense of balance and harmony in the space.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. Every placement of salt seems to be about intentionally cultivating a more peaceful and harmonious atmosphere.
You're picking up on the key theme here.
So it's not just about the salt itself, but the mindfulness and intention behind it.
Exactly. And there are even more unexpected places where salt can bring those benefits.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We're just getting started.
Well, I'm definitely intrigued. Tell me more.
So we're back diving deeper into this fascinating world of salt and spirituality.
You know, I'm starting to see salt in a whole new light.
I bet. It's more than just a humble seasoning, isn't it?
Way more. We were talking about this Buddhist principle of impermanence.
Right, the idea that everything is in constant flux, just like salt needs to be replaced. So too, our efforts toward peace and harmony, an ongoing process.
Not a one-time thing, gotta keep at it.
Exactly. It's a continuous journey of cultivating positive energy.
Which actually connects really well with salt's relationship to nature, something we wanted to explore a bit more.
Oh, for sure.
Salt comes from the earth and the sea, these powerful forces of nature.
And in Buddhist practice, there's this deep reverence for the natural world.
So bringing salt into our homes is kind of like bringing in a piece of that natural energy.
It's a reminder of our connection to something bigger than ourselves.
I like that. And it makes me think about salt's role in human history, too.
Oh, absolutely. Salt has this fascinating social dimension.
You mean like how it was once so valuable people fought wars over it?
Well, that's part of it. But it also played a huge role in building communities.
Community! Now, that's not something I would connect it with salt right away.
Think about it. Salt was essential for preserving food, even used as currency back in the day.
Right, like those Roman soldiers getting paid in salt.
Exactly. And because it was so valuable, salt was often shared as a symbol of hospitality and friendship.
So it was like a precious gift.
Exactly. A way to strengthen bonds between people.
It's like offering someone a pinch of salt was a way of saying, I welcome you and I trust you.
And even today, many cultures use salt in rituals to represent those ideas of trust and goodwill.
So using salt to create a harmonious environment in our homes could also be seen as a way of extending those feelings outward to our community.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
Our personal well-being is interconnected with the well-being of those around us.
Okay, so we've got intention, mindfulness, connection to nature community building. What else is there?
Well, there's also the practical side of things.
Right, because a part of me is wondering, does simply placing salt around my house really make a difference?
That's a fair question. And the article really emphasizes the importance of intention. It's not about the salt itself being magical.
So it's not like a sprinkle of salt and all your problems disappear.
Not quite. It's about consciously choosing to create a positive environment and using salt as a physical representation of that intention.
Okay, so the salt is like a tool to help us focus our energy.
Exactly.
Yep.
If you just place salt at your front door without any thought, it's just salt sitting there.
But if you take a moment to visualize it, absorbing negativity and creating a protective barrier, then you're actively participating in the energy shift.
You're putting your intention into action.
Okay, so it's not passive hoping for good vibes, it's actively creating them.
That's a key takeaway here. The real power lies in the conscious effort we make to create a positive and harmonious environment.
This is starting to make a lot of sense. It's not about blindly following rituals, it's about understanding the principles behind them and bringing our own intention to the practice.
It's about finding what resonates with you and adapting these practices to fit your own beliefs and intentions.
So we're not just copying what we read, we're making it our own.
Precisely. And you know what really struck me about this whole salt thing is that even the simplest things can hold profound meaning.
Yeah, it's easy to rush through life without appreciating the little things.
We're so focused on the big picture that we miss the details that make up the tapestry of our lives.
And salt is such a perfect example. We use it every day without a second thought, but it has this whole other dimension.
And that's the beauty of diving deep. We slow down, pay attention, and rediscover the magic in the mundane.
Well said. So I think it's time to wrap up this part of our salt saga.
Sounds good.
But stick around because we've got some final thoughts and insights coming up next. Welcome back for the final sprinkle of wisdom in our salt exploration. I don't know about you, but I'm never going to look at my salt shaker the same way again.
I can imagine. It's amazing how we can find so much meaning in something so ordinary.
It really is like we've uncovered this whole secret world hidden in plain sight.
And that's what I love about these deep dives.
Yeah.
We get to explore those hidden dimensions and discover the interconnectedness of everything.
So as we wrap up, what are some of the key takeaways you hope listeners will remember?
Well, first and foremost, I want to emphasize that The energy we cultivate in our homes really does impact our well-being.
Our homes are like mirrors reflecting our inner state.
Exactly. And creating a harmonious environment can have a profound effect on how we feel.
It's like cleaning house on an energetic level.
Using tools like salt mindfully can be a powerful way to shift that energy.
But it's not just about the physical act of placing salt, right?
Right. It's about the intention behind it. It's not a magic trick. You have to be an active participant in creating that positive change.
So we're consciously choosing to create a more peaceful and harmonious atmosphere and using salt as a way to amplify those intentions.
Exactly. And I think it's also important to remember that we're all interconnected.
Our well-being is tied to the well-being of others and the planet.
Salt symbolizes that interconnectedness. It comes from the earth, connects us to ancient traditions, and even represents those bonds of hospitality and friendship.
And of course, we can't forget about impermanence.
Ah, yes, the ever-changing nature of reality.
It's a good reminder that just like salt needs to be replaced, our efforts toward peace and harmony are an ongoing journey.
It's about showing up each day and making a conscious choice to cultivate those qualities.
So we're not striving for some perfect endpoint. It's all about the process.
It's about enjoying the journey and trusting that every little step we take makes a difference.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. I never knew we could go so deep with salt.
It just goes to show that there's magic to be found everywhere, even in the most mundane things.
Well said. A huge thanks to you for joining me on this salty adventure.
The pleasure was all mine. And to our listeners, may your homes and hearts be filled with peace, harmony, and maybe just a sprinkle of salt.
That's a wrap, folks. Thanks for tuning in to another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring. And remember, there's always more than meets the eye.